What took a little time to get going? Was that the whole deal, getting him familiar with the whole situation back out there?
Well, our offense took that doing it. Part of that was him. Part of us was lining up wrong. On the interception, we have a missed assignment. So not on the guys who were part of it, but so we really didn't start the way you'd like. But the reality is that now basically 2 weeks of practice. One is our backup or third. I thought he played his butt off.
Talk about just responding after you guys got down 14.
Well, I think that's a credit to our players. It's and it helps being at home. It certainly does. You got the crowd there, and the reality is things that we did were self-inflicted. The whole idea is to play good football and not have penalties and turn it over and play and do the right things. And when you do that, you give yourself a chance. Now, there's some other things that go into that, but that's what we did. We just settled in, and our defense played great, which they've been playing really well. So, we're going to play to that as a team. Like I've always said, stats are completely overrated. We're going to play to what gives us a chance to win.
Mike had said going into that fourth down and goal, when you guys scored a touchdown, he was just so frustrated with kicking field goals, he wanted to go for it. Were you guys, is there a sense of frustration on offense when you have to settle for 3?
Well, I'm not really going to. I'm going to really try to turn on the positives, of course. I'm going to comment on what the obvious was, right? Who in the hell wants to kick 5 field goals? But the reality is Daniel Koenig didn't practice a whole week and played. That's unbelievable. We got Jeremy Smith back, from his ankle. Wes Lund only practiced 1 week and played his butt off. Josh Stewart hurt his hand early in the game and he fought back and played. And we got a bunch of young guys fighting the rear ends off. We're going to scrap and claw as best we can as a staff and as a team to scratch out wins. And that's what I'm going to focus on, is how well our guys played individually. Is it frustrating to kick field goals? Of course it is. There's no question, But, again, I think we turned it over once as an offense, right? We fumbled again. Justin fumbled. We had the one. Obviously, we got returned for a touchdown. That's unacceptable. But the reality is, if you don't turn it over, you have limited penalties. But there's plenty to go around in those things. But I'm going to focus on the way our guys played and competed, and we got a scrappy group. And like I've said, you got to figure it out. I was talking to a high school coach the other day, and he's like, everybody's got injuries. It's like the old Apollo 13 movie. That's it. Dump it all on the table. Let's figure it out, and let's see if we can make it work. That's what we're paid to do. So there's going to be ups and downs of it. But I thought our guys as a whole played their butts off.
Joseph Randall gets his 6th 100-yard rushing game. Has he been the most consistent piece of that puzzle of all those guys?
Sure has. Our running backs, they're the most experienced guys. They're our most experienced group when you have Jeremy and Joe and, and Kai, and those guys are our most experienced group. So they should play, and you should know what to expect. When you have newcomers, whether it's Blake Jackson, even Josh Stewart's in his 2nd year, and quarterbacks and others, said, how do you think they're going to play? I don't really know. Our sample size is too small. Those guys should, and our guys that have played up front should. And I'll bet when we look down the road every game, the consistency will start with guys that have played. So it starts with, obviously, Joe.
You mentioned that once Wes actually took a couple hits and knew he was going to be all right physically, that's kind of when things started to change for him too. Did you notice that as well?
I think some of that. Some of it's, hey, you got to be a man to step up. You can't just start. There was 1 3rd down. He just started floating. I thought there was pressure. There wasn't pressure, but he hasn't played a lot. This is his first win really as a starter and finishing a game. So I thought there was a lot of really good things, and he progressed throughout the week, but I think he settled in, and we settled in and made some plays. Obviously, we didn't finish, but, he made a lot of really good plays, and I promise you there's a bunch where, where you're like, what are you doing? That's just part of it. And I made calls like that, made some good ones, and there's other ones like, what are you doing? It's just part of it.
It looked like he really progressed as the game went on. He's got more and more comfortable.
Sure, no, he's a good football player, he's not played. We're counting on a lot for him when you're a throwing team, whether it's J-Dub or him, to come in and just, is what we do, And we've started to kind of morph a little bit towards J-Dub. Now all of a sudden you're, put the brakes on, you come right back to what you want to do. And obviously we're going to scramble, as we move forward, but that's our job. So I really thought he played his butt off, for a guy that hadn't played, and we threw him out there and said, here you go, let's go do it.
You've always talked about his calm demeanor and just being level-headed. Was it the same when he's on the phone with you and all that?
No, he was great. He was great. He was a calm demeanor, and again, you only have so many reps. A couple of those throws, like he'll see it and you'll learn. I think you just gain so much from failure. more than you gain from success. Yeah, you gain confidence. But I think he's a confident guy. But, you know, you're going to look at certain things and go, God, that wasn't very smart, and that wasn't very smart. And same with me. There's going to be plays where I'm like, well, that wasn't very smart. That was pretty stupid. So I just think you gain from what you do, and he's going to gain from that.
Is there a throw that you saw him make today that you're just like, all right, there we go. That he's turned the corner, he's back. He's
I don't
in.
know. There were some decisions, and there were some times I think he stepped up in the pocket and did that I thought, okay, you know, he's there. But the problem is, you know, I mean, as we move forward, we've got to do a good job, you know, having a game plan that plays to whatever strength that we have. And the problem is saying back to what? That's the hard part. When did you think he was? Well, I wasn't sure if he'd ever arrived. And I'm not trying to be rude. So he's played one game. Savannah State didn't matter. Got hurt in the other one, and he played one game. So, you know, he'll be able to build on that, and so will we, as our trust develops as well. You know, so luckily some of the things that we thought we could get on him, we did, and you know, they gave us some explosive plays.